Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to another recording of Hearthstone. Today is Monday, February 4th, and we are on the European account. We need to get one more thing done, so we need to either get 3 games with the Paladin and Warrior, or 3 games with the Mage or Shaman. Let's see. Do I want to go Paladin and Warrior, or Mage and Shaman? I want to go Mage and Shaman, so let's try that and play. We may run out of news in this recording, or this recording might end up being shorter than normal. But I didn't really feel like going more than 2 hours in the previous recording, and we started late, so it's nearly 8 o'clock in my time zone, because my internet was messing up and it seems like it's working. Either that or it stopped streaming a long time ago and people aren't seeing these videos, which I'll upload them later as episodes. Let's see. I think I want to probably wait on playing that. First article we have is a TechRaptor article. Netmarble is forming a consortium to bid on a Nexon sale. Netmarble is a South Korean gaming firm I've never heard of. It's another business looking to place a controlling bid on Nexon's holding company, reports Reuters. R-E-U-T-E-R-S? Reuters? I've heard of that company, I just don't remember how to pronounce the name. Nexon is the company that developed MapleStory 2, and the owner decided to put it up on sale because he didn't like the, well, he says he didn't like the instability of the gaming market. I imagine Korean companies were definitely feeling pressure when China was not approving any games and to be sold in China. I imagine that is a factor. I'm just gonna play this now. Let's see.
Put this apple on your head.
Apparently other companies that are bidding on Nexon are Tencent, TPG Capital, Kohlberg, Kravis Roberts, Carlyle, and MBK Partners. Or maybe I'm reading this. Maybe those are all the companies that are working together to buy NetEase. Yeah, that might be what that is trying to tell me. I'm having trouble discerning the description, the sentence. No, I think they're competition. There's a point here that says that said, Netmarble believes the company should stay within Korean boundaries. Selling to an offshore group would be bad for the South Korean games industry. Quote, we believe the tangible and intangible values of Nexon are important assets to Korea. Analysts call Tencent the most likely candidate regarding the acquisition, as they have over $100 billion to spend. Nexon is South Korea's biggest gaming firm. Netmarble, however, holds 1/4 of its mobile market. What to do? One thing I think, as someone who barely knows what's going on in the South Korean games industry, one thing I could say is I it feels like too many large corporations exist in South Korea, and there's not enough competition, so too many people's jobs are at the whims of too few CEOs. It's kind of the it's kind of the problem. Let's see. Tragic Master put in Reuters, lol, smiley face. I should know it. I've heard it 1,000 times before. Drawing a blank. Yeah, me too. I think it's Reuters. It's spelled weird. Certainly. Yeah. Samsung is the biggest example of that. Like, Samsung employees, I think, it'd be ridiculous to say 80%, but I think maybe 60% of everybody that lives in South Korea has a job that is somehow directly affected by Samsung. So if Samsung goes badly, the entire country goes badly, and that's just not, that's too big of a monopoly, particularly for such a small country, a relatively small country. They need to break Samsung up and say, hey, like, your business should be either the electronics or the other companies you run, because they run like grocery stores and gas stations and just random things.
How long can this go on? How long can this go on?
Killing things. Next we have a game on Steam called Fairy Light. It actually looks like it might have something interesting here. Although it's running pretty slow for what looks like a hack and slash beat 'em up brawler. Yeah. I like the animation here. It looks like there's some polish there. This doesn't look terrible. So this is an early access game. If it's just a performance problem, I guess I could put an early access game with performance problems on the fall list. It's 10% for $1.79. And it's an English and Russian game. So the price is too low. And it's from Russia, and that brings some suspicion to it too. Visually it looks good, but that price point tells me that this game will never get worked on or finished to the point where it is a complete long experience that I would want for something like this. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame. I was looking towards putting that on the follow list. Next we have a game on Steam called You Are Here, which looks like it's a space simulator, probably an asset flip or educational game that zooms in and zooms out to show you scale perspective. If this is VR, it does not look very good. It is VR, early access for $2.99. Again, too cheap. And I'm looking at the base prices too. I'm not getting confused because it's a Lunar New Year sale going on. Like, I'm looking at the base prices and saying a lot of these games are just not in line with the level of expense that they should be at for other games like that level. Next we have a game on Steam called Mech Chip, which looks like it's a black and white platformer, Super Meat Boy style game. well, they're saying it's a Metroidvania game, but it's black and white, and they don't have a lot of upgrades here. And you might have sold me if the graphics looked better in black and white, or if it wasn't black and white, but it feels just like it's trying to sell itself on Game Boy nostalgia, and I just don't have that. $4.99, at least the price is in the right range, but yeah, it's actually too expensive now for what this game looks like.
What to do?
Okay, Pitchy, go get him!
Let's see.
There is little time.
In the turn. Next, we have a game on Steam called Fatal Hour Roadkill, which looks like it's an asset flip game. Dark Screenshot Syndrome. Man, that is super dark. I can't even make out what I'm looking at there.
Relax.
Super dark. Turn up your gamma, turn up your brightness when making a screenshot. What's funny is I downloaded and installed those games that make animated GIFs, and I can't for the life of me think how I would ever make an animated GIF of anything interesting to look at. This is not, I don't think YouTube supports animated GIFs anyway, so it doesn't matter. This game looks terrible. It's just darkness. $5.99. No discount. Okay. Can we do this? This is the hope. We can do this first. We can do this first. And we can do this. Right. So that. And then that. And then exactly 14 damage. I was right on the nose, but I'm not gonna pretend for a second I meant to do that or anything. Just got lucky. Yeah, we might as well ride to victory and play Shaman again. Shaman. I keep falling out of remembering how to pronounce it right. Right. Next we have a game on Steam called Fairy Nights, which is a lot more zoomed in and polished, kind of cutesy chibi characters. But that overworld map makes me wonder if this is a level-based game. It says it's an RPG, JRPG. Interesting. Well, this does not look bad. It almost looks like it's a mobile game that is based on a JRPG, or what a JRPG would be if it was a mobile game and still good. $2.99 discounted. That means it would be $4.99 before English Korean. I'm kind of willing to give this a chance. We'll see what the reviews say, see how long this is. You might have to play that match minigame to fight everybody, which might change things, or might not really. You might just have things exactly the same. It's a pipe dream game, and there aren't too many pipe dream games out there. Yeah, Fairy Nights looks interesting. So, yeah, I'll put that on the follow list. Here's a article that caught my attention from GameIndustry.biz. Did EA beat Nintendo at its own game? 10 years ago this month, a closer look at John Riccitiello's bold claim that EA would rival Nintendo's quality of software on the Wii, and a breakdown of a post-layoff pep talk. What was interesting here in the EA saga of EA canceling the production of a lot of games, here they call him a ruthless serial killer of games. Listen, some quotes here. Quote, we are taking great advantage of their new hardware edition with the motion sensor. That is going to give us the kind of gameplay we think will rival Nintendo on their own platform. What games did EA release on the Wii? Well, whatever they released, certainly it didn't rival Nintendo. It didn't rival Wii Bowling for one, but there also are some great arguments that a lot of the Wii games that were released barely used the Wiimotes and would have been better if they weren't using the Wiimotes at all. In the same way that right now I don't think a lot of the Switch controlling setups really work best when you have the Joy-Cons in your hand and you're waggling them around. Let's see, this is a long retrospective article GameIndustry.biz has. There's a part here. In 2009, EA had more Wii releases with an 80 plus Metacritic average than Nintendo. EA's Wii lineup consisted of 4 Tiger Woods games, 2 EA Sports active games, 2 Maddens, a FIFA, 4 Rock Band titles. Okay, Rock Bands might have put it up. The Steven Spielberg attached Bloom Box and its sequel, and Dead Space Extraction. Alright, well, just because they released more games doesn't that were wow, I was about to say, just because they released more games that were rated higher than Nintendo doesn't mean they did a better job than Nintendo. And I think in the long run that's probably true, because you throw out the 4 Tiger Wood games, they don't have any relevancy now. You throw out the 2 EA Sports activities and the 2 Maddens and the FIFA, and then you're left with Rock Band being relevant and Boom Blocks 1 and 2 being relevant, and Dead Space Extraction kind of being relevant, but not even, because Dead Space has been cancelled. There's no more Dead Space. Who cares about the Wii exclusive prequel game or side game or differently made game? There's another quote here. The implication is clearly that those who were laid off were not making great games or were not quality people. Wow, that is a terrible quote for John Riccitiello to say. Not quality people, that's why we laid them off. They were garbage people, that's why we fired them. And that's clearly not true. EA has gotten worse and worse over the years. As they continue to lay people off. Let's see. And so then there's a paragraph here in this article. It says people who were apparently not making great games. Do I want to kill this guy? Or just let him do his damage? Were Midway, who filed for bankruptcy, THQ, they closed its San Diego, German, and UK wireless offices, cutting 100 jobs in the process, THQ, that laid off 600 more people after reporting $192 million quarterly loss. Brighter Minds, publisher of the indie hit World of Goo, went bankrupt. I didn't realize. Interesting. Somebody must have bought up World of Goo, because that's still available for purchase, so somebody owns it. Zavici closed 17 more stores, laying off 242 people. Sega Sammy laid off 650 people. NCSoft laid off 55 people. Future US laid off 19 staffers. Rare went through restructuring. THQ shut down THQ International. So those are, I guess, other companies that closed their doors in 2008 during the global economic downturn, which is just more evidence of the instability of the video game industry, that they can't save for a rainy day, and they didn't save for a rainy day. Hit that. And hit that. That. That.
Take shelter.
See, Gears of War writer Joshua Ortega promised fans the franchise had a bright future, saying, quote, "Will not be disbanded in the next 10 years. It's a 10-year plan. Gears is long-term. The Lancer is the new lightsaber," end quote. The plan seems to be right on schedule, ready to accumulate in this year with the debut of Funko branded Gears Pop on mobile devices. So yeah, there's a lot of pea and vinegar in this article, a lot of bitterness certainly, but interesting to look back 10 years ago and see what shenanigans EA and others were up to. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, there's this podcast where they're going to interview Lucas Pope, the creator of Papers, Please and Return to Obra Dinn. I wanted to listen to that. It's from Final Games, episode 86. So I was going to check that out. But I'll have to get around to it. We'll see how far that goes. Some of these last few games may have been things I already talked about because I may have opened some duplicates, but I'm not sure. Well, he's not playing, so let's go ahead and do this. Next we have a game on Steam called Ego Hearts, which is already rated positively. So this looks weird. This may not be a game I actually really want to play. Actually, I don't think I have to make a decision. It's free to play anyways, so it seems like you throw paper airplanes and that's your game, is just flying a paper airplane. Well, it's free and it doesn't look terrible. Let's see. Next, we have a game on Steam called Spinortality Cyberpunk Management Sim, which looks like it might be something. Yeah, this feels like a Plague Inc. game clone. I'm willing to give it a try though. It's rated mostly positive. It's $8.99 discounted. I'll put this on the fall list. I'm only going to put it on the fall list though. I'm going to give it some more time to get some more reviews and then decide to either add it to the wish list or not, because I think a little bit more thought could go into it. Let's see. Next is a game that looks like it's a troll game, and it looks like it has a character like this zoomed out anime girl that might be new, maybe not. I can't really tell. It's a very basic mobile looking game where you rotate the walls of the world to get to the exit door, and that's pretty much it. So I guess the troll here is that there's a guy who is trying to kiss this anime girl, and she is trying to avoid him, and that's where the name Kiss Me comes from. Yeah, this looks like garbage though. The background is way too busy, full of a bunch of random images. Oh, and then all of a sudden there is a 3D model viewer that there's a screenshot of that does not match anything else I've seen in the game. So it seems like they've wedged a basic 3D model viewer into a 2D garbage game. This game is early access. It says it's coming soon. And it has DLC already available for it. Interesting. Interesting that you can get that far on a game that probably should not be allowed to be on Steam.
Job's done.
But I've said that before. Next we have a game on Steam called Helheim, which I believe is Nordic reference. Let's see. It says it's an adventure hack and slash sci-fi game. Looks like it might be something of interest. Looks like it has some polish to it, and yeah, I'll put this on the fall list. I'm not 100% sold on it, but it's $8.99 discounted. So yeah. So I think that one deserves a chance. Let's just go ahead and kill this. So we can't do anything to heal it or otherwise reinforce it. Next we have a game on Steam called Rainswept, which to me looks like it's a point and click adventure game, and it looks like they put some polish on it, so I kind of like this as an art style. Nothing looks too bad. The camera doesn't seem too zoomed out, which is important for a point and click adventure game. That's really what it is, although it just says it's an adventure game. $10.19, a little expensive, but point and click adventures always are. So yeah, that's another one I'll put on the list. Right, we can go ahead and hit one here, and hit one here. Let's just go ahead and hit one there, and do that.
Job's done.
Let's see. Next we have a game called The Miriam, a puzzle game with surrealist fairy tale atmosphere. A lot of games have come out that are kind of like walking simulator puzzle games with quote unquote surrealist fairy tale atmosphere is what it really means. And a lot of times it's just asset flips that have been merged together with little effort. I don't know if this is a game that is like that or if this is actually good quality. It's $3.99 right now. I'll put it on the follow list and we'll see what the reviews have to say about it. Let's see. This guy is going to do 1 damage
Stormy, stormy.
on a spell. Kill himself. Next we have a game on Steam called Riddle Lord or Riddle Ward: The Consequence, which feels like it might be a sequel to some other game. It says it's an adventure puzzle single player short. Animation looks good in this cutscene, but this feels a lot like the game The Room, which, okay. I didn't really like it when I liked The Room 2 when I played it. It was alright, but not great. This is $4.79 discounted. I'll give it a chance. And this is, I don't think, the same developer as The Room. No. This developer hasn't made anything else. Alright.
I wonder.
The calm before the storm. Gotcha!
Hit that. And in the turn. Apparently CCP is looking for a senior narrative designer. That job is listed in London, UK. So CCP worked on something. I don't remember what that company worked on though. It was founded in Reykjavik Island. Ah, yeah. CCP aren't they the ones that made Witcher 3, and they're making Cyberpunk 2044 or whatever it is, Cyberpunk some numbers. Let's end the turn there, or you know what, I'll just hit this and do that. Yeah. Guess I could click on CCP's website and then click company. Oh no, this is EVE Online is CCP, so not the creators of Witcher 3. Oops. Yeah. That's CD Projekt Red, so that's where my confusion was coming from. YouTube on Twitter asked people to shout out their favorite channels with less than 1,000 subs. I retweeted it. I didn't try to show myself, but if anybody out there wants to show me, it would be greatly appreciated. They seem like they're at least pretending like they're going to try and promote some channels. They want you to explain why you think their channel is awesome or something like that. I would love to see any feedback as to why people would think my channel is particularly awesome either. I guess the vast amount of videos I've published is pretty awesome or awe-inspiring, but that's about it. I don't know where I could improve or what I need to do to improve, but I also am not under any delusions that I think my content that I create is amazingly good or popular. So, certainly not popular.
Stormy, stormy.
Let's see. Ryan White, who's the head of gaming and VR at YouTube, tweeted in Netflix in 2017 reported 51 billion hours of content watched on the entire platform for that year. In the last 12 months at YouTube Gaming has had 50 billion hours of gaming videos watched. I think that was why I clicked on this link. I don't think he had anything else of any slight interest to say. Yeah, I'm not seeing any other tweets. It's always a problem when you leave a tweet open as to figuring out what part of that open tweet page was the important thing I wanted to announce or report on. So I'm gonna assume it's that and move on. Yeah, it was. Because the very next article is a VentureBeat's article. YouTube games videos were viewed for 50 billion hours in 2018. So
Reporting for duty.
50 billion hours compared to whatever number I said earlier in the stream, which Twitch claimed to have, which I think was 190 billion. Yeah, nobody clearly is gonna compare anything apples to apples though, so the numbers are basically all made up and don't matter anyways. Quality might be a factor over quantity. Gamer Stitcher has an article. Peter Moore quit video games, but the Liverpool Football Club chief still fears Fortnite. Let's see what he means by that. What are we working on? Can we keep this interesting? Let's play a mage game, yeah. Quote, we have a quote here from Peter Moore. I'm concerned as the CEO of a football club that relies on the next generation of fans coming through. There's so much pressure on time now and only 24 hours in a day, and there are only so many hours to play Fortnite, end quote. Alright, so he's afraid people won't be watching the soccer/football and instead will be playing video games on Fortnite. He should be very afraid of that, but there's really nothing you can do about it, so whatever. I think this is a troll game, but next we have a game on Steam called Another Bad Day in the Future. Looks like it's a VR game where, let's get past these multitude of videos. Jeez, just a whole bunch of videos. This is more videos than I thought you would have been allowed to put up on Steam. Maybe the game does not show well. Yeah, I think I already looked at this game and rejected it as looking like an asset flip VR game. Early access, $19.99. Yep, well, I'm gonna reject it now if I didn't reject it before. And I did say some of these are potentially repeated games. We don't have too many more games, so I don't know if we're gonna actually make it to the Asian account. I may just do that off screen. It's gonna kill my guy. Just gonna kill my guy like that. Next secret you play costs 0.
Someday I'll be just like you.
Just play that for free. Play that. Next we have a game called Butterfly Dream Shadow. It's probably a Chinese visual novel if I was to guess. The animation doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't look particularly sharp either. Nothing particularly interesting. Take a note here on that screenshot that this looks way more detailed and focused on compared to this. That's just a completely different art style. Early access English not supported, $2.99, and it's a Chinese game. No surprise. There. I wonder if maybe Steam felt the need to approve more visual novels and Chinese games due to Chinese New Year. I wonder if the Chinese government felt the pressure to approve games due to the Chinese New Year.
What now?
That's an interesting thought that will probably never be answered. Meanwhile, as the guy decides to not play Hearthstone, we have a game on Steam called Rise of the Pirates that seems like it's an RPG looking game. Looks bad. 8-bit graphics. May not actually be an RPG. It says it's an MMO. Multiplayer only, free to play. Interesting. So it's somebody's attempt to do Sea of Thieves, apparently, with no actual skill or ability to make a 3D game.
I must choose.
Let's see. Next, we have a game on Steam called SCP-022. It's rated positively. It says it's a short physics game about escaping from a closed chamber. So this might be an asset flip game, or this might be decent. It's free, so I guess it's the right price there. It's a simplified Chinese English game. Feels like it would be just a demo more than anything else, and it's not really worth, I think, anybody's time.
Someday I'll be just like you.
Job's done.
I guess I really shouldn't complain about other people not playing for as often as I seem to not play, because I get distracted. Next, we have a game on Steam called Sky Reaper. It's a shoot 'em up game. I really have no interest in playing any shoot 'em up games. This doesn't look bad, although the side art is pretty boring and ugly. I think I'd probably prefer it to just be black. It's $1.79 discounted, so I don't think that implies that it's a very long game or a very good game. Usually shooter games are pretty expensive, relatively speaking, so one on discount does not bode well. Do that. Next, we have a game on Steam called Princess Guardians. This again might have been something we already looked at. It's an RPG Maker game, and yeah, there's nothing that looks too interesting here about it. It's 30% off for $3.49, English, Japanese this time. I only only got about 5 more tabs to go through, but last stream on Friday had about 3 things that were going to go to the wish list or the follow list. This time I have no less than 6 tabs that are going to go to those lists. So quality is way up, but quantity is also up. TechRaptor has an article, Rainway, a home-based streaming service, has launched. It's a home-based streaming service that allows users to stream their PC games on the go. It's fully compatible with AMD, Intel, and NVIDIA hardware, and is capable of encoding full HD at 60 frames per second in under 3 milliseconds, which I'm not sure if under 3 milliseconds is a guarantee. Under 3 milliseconds probably is good enough, but the encoding and the quality there are going to be factors, certainly. Let's see. Rainway allows users to play their games on internet browsers on Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Chrome OS, and Android with native app on the Xbox One and Android iOS coming later this year. This is an advertisement, basically. Steam Link and NVIDIA's Shadowplay are 2 examples of this that already exist and really haven't caught on or interested people.
Don't mess with
Let's see. If he could do damage to himself a little bit more.
An incredible discovery.
So if he plays something with like 1 health, then this will do 5 damage to him, which would be enough for victory. So he played something with 2 health. So if he doesn't give himself some armor, I can win next turn. Yeah, just decide not to give yourself armor. That's all you need to do. Ah, darn it. So I need to do a little bit more damage. We were fine though. Because this could do that. And then this could have done that. And then this could have won. Or this could have won. And I still would have had enough mana to win. So yeah, we were good. And that's all we need to do on the European account, so let's just double check and move over to the Asian account, so we'll actually get to see a little bit of that today. Not much. We're gonna wrap up, I think, pretty quickly. I might scroll down through my Twitter account and stretch for time a little bit, but I bet there aren't even going to be 10 new tweets. While this is loading, we have a game on Steam called Caverns of Carvella. It looks bad. Even the video that was recorded is not done right. There's a point where the software pops up a window on it. Yeah, this just feels like a bad clone of a really old Commodore game. $5.24 discounted. Really expensive too, for what it is. Alright. So we have no rerolls. We could defeat 3 dungeon run bosses, or we can win a game with a shaman, a warlock, or you can win 2 games with any classes. So let's not go this route. Let's do the dungeon boss run. That way I can reroll something. Dungeon boss. Dungeon run. And what are we playing? Bunch of beasts. A bunch of secrets and traps. Take this. And we're high up there, challenge 5, so we'll probably lose this. Yeah, Caverns of Carvella, too expensive, not making it to the wish list. Let's Tech Raptor has an article, The Walking Dead, the final season, episode 3, still not bitten review. I just want to skip to the bottom here and see where the quality is on this. Tech Raptor gave it a 8.5, great. Summary: Broken Toys continues The Walking Dead final season's interesting story. Broken Toys was the name of the chapter. And great character development while serving as a triumphant return for a season thought lost. Pros: great cast of characters, interesting choices, and fantastic gameplay moments. Cons: no new enemy types. Why is Omar still around? I'm not sure who Omar is per se, but whatever. Just gonna play that first. Alright, well, that's good news. I do want to hear good news about the final season of Walking Dead. Give a random minion in your hand, +2/+2.
No look, say job's done.
Next we have a game on Steam called St. Paul Pre-Alpha, which just does not look like a pre-alpha game because there's no such thing as a pre-alpha game. But let's see, it's multiplayer with some asset characters running around and shooting. Wonder if St. Paul is there's probably a city called St. Paul somewhere. And this might be a little political. Yeah. Local culture and conflicts found within Brazil. This is a free-to-play game. And multiplayer only. It's in English and Portuguese, Brazil too. Okay. Random beast in your hand, +1/+1. Or do we want to unleash the hounds? Let's do this. There we go. Yeah, because St. Paul Pre-Alpha is free to play, I have no reason to put it on the follow list. Even if it was a good game, which I suspect heavily it isn't. What more do we want? Freeze trap. Or 1/1 with rush. Play that. Do that. There we go. Next we have a game on Steam called Frio 3 Parting and Meeting, which looks like it's a horror adventure game based around some like Japanese Asian horror style game, but I'm not sure if this is a good game. I guess I have to just run the dice on that and put it on the follow list, and we'll see what other people have to say. The other thing that's interesting here is I don't know if there actually is a Frio 2 or 1 on Steam, so this might be like a mobile game that is being now brought to PC, and so you might be playing the game in the middle of a story. Let's see. Minions in your hand become copies of that card. Let's take this, that, and let's do that. We'll just kill that. Okay. And in the turn.
Did you bring some fish?
Now there is a game called Frio Lost in Old Town and Frio 2 Memory of My Sister, both of which are rated pretty well, interesting enough. And then oddly before that game is a game called Stop Dictator Kim Jong-un. So I don't know, that clearly is a troll game from the same developer. And then before that is a game called Seirei, S-E-I-R-E-I, that I'm not gonna bother to show, where it's like a CGI anime girl catching other CGI anime girls and tying them up. Seirei? Yeah, that might be Seirei. And it seems like you're running around a graveyard exorcising demons out of these anime guys. So I don't know about that game, frankly. Oh, actually Seirei is not out yet in English language, is not available, so so I don't know if this is a troll developer who on their occasion makes horror adventure games, or a troll developer that has made a trilogy of troll horror games. And the mostly positive reviews of the first game of Frio, F-R-I-O, are only 27, so that's questionable. I guess I'll put the first game in this list on the follow list, and I'll have to make a decision later. And of course, I'm never going to run into a rope over here because I'm playing in single player mode, so I can take as much freaking time as I want, which is both a blessing and a curse. Now this story was almost jaw-dropping. It seems so out of place and ridiculous. Gamatsu has an article. Groundhog Day, like father like son, has been announced for the PlayStation VR, Oculus, and Vive. It's being developed by the Invisible Hour studio Tequila Works. Sony Pictures Virtual Reality, Immersive Entertainment, and Tequila Works have announced Groundhog Day, Like Father Like Son, the sequel to the 1993 released film Groundhog Day. Like, you would think that the name maybe is a wink and nod to the movie, but not a direct sequel. That just seems really unrealistic. I guess I'm just gonna take some damage and keep on playing. There's a teaser trailer here, I'll watch it, but I can't show it to you, of course, because it's Sony and they would almost certainly claim it, even though they don't have any copyright to a teaser or a trailer, and you can't copyright those things. But alright, let's see if YouTube agrees with that. The answer is no. Alright, can we do this?
I hunt alone.
Do I want 3 more damage?
No look save.
There we go.
Job's done.
So in the teaser, you're playing as the son character. You have a tablet and you're swiping through the tablet, seeing a whole bunch of images, and there was a 3D CGI character talking to you in the scene before. And it seems like a bunch of accidents are going to happen, and you're going to have to try and prevent the accidents, which is not what Groundhog Day was about at all. I'm not inherently going to say the game is bad, but if it's anything like the previous movie tie-ins from Sony, which I believe were the Ghostbuster VR games, it's gonna be bad. Because those were awful. Let's see, Arthas, Death Rattle, Kill Thuzon. I'm gonna take that. I don't know if that's really gonna help me any, but let's keep on playing.
Rexa versus Ugar. Let the hunt begin. Time for pain.
Guess I could take that. Let's keep that. See, next we have a game on Steam called Last Days Motel. Looks like it's a Chinese game. Top down, probably salvaging. It says it's an RPG. It's in the early access according to the tags. English not supported, free to play, simplified Chinese game. So I imagine you're in a hotel in a zombie apocalypse. It would be my guess, or some kind of apocalypse.
Job's done.
Armor made to fit.
So that puts me now at the Humble Store. And what do we have here? There's a book bundle called Break Into the Game Industry. This was the one Gamma Sutra was shilling for $1 or more. I assume you get ebooks for the books Creative Character Design, Vintage Games 2.0, an insider look to the most influential games of all time, Becoming a Video Game Artist from the portfolio design to landing the job. keep on doing this and not play that character until later. Digital Mayhem 3D landscape techniques, where inspiration techniques and digital art meet. And honoring the code, conversations with great game designers. Okay, those may all be helpful books, they may not. It really comes down to where do you get your art inspiration from? Is it from other artists, or is it from your own head? If you pay $8 or more, you'll also unlock 3D game environments, created professional 3D game worlds, designing the Uber experience of game development tools, the Indie Game Developer Handbook, creative direction in a digital world, a guide to being a modern creative director, Digital Mayhem 3D machine techniques, where inspiration techniques and digital art meet, and vintage game consoles, an inside look at Apple, Atari, Commodore, Nintendo, and the greatest gaming platforms of all time. Now I want to take a moment before we go to the next tier to say there is a problem that is pretty obvious with this bundle already, in that you're not needing to read all of these books for any one career path. Like, if you're not going to be making game design tools and making environments and animating characters, if you are a one-man army trying to make a game like that, you're also almost certainly going to have to do it in such different ways than what would be the standard methods of operation that it really wouldn't even matter. Alright, so we've got to kill these guys. If you pay $15 or more, you get Women in the Game Development, Breaking the Glass Level Cap, Game Design Theory and New Philosophy for Understanding Games, a practical guide to indie game marketing. I wouldn't be surprised if most, if not all, of these games, these books also are bunk. Just useless information, stuff that would not relate or matter, or is telling you downright wrong things. I heard a story recently of somebody who just came out of a video game college. I think this was a story about a video game programmer. It might have been somebody who went to college for something else. And as soon as they got hired at that entry-level position, they told, and he was at a top-tier college, they told him he didn't know anything that was helpful, and they were going to have to send him to remedial classes and pay for him to actually know what they needed him or they wanted him to know. Which not only is that super demoralizing, it's just like a huge sad statement on the disconnect between what a college can often teach you and what the job in the industry people really want you to know or need you to know. Continuing on the $15 level, you could get mobile and social game design, monetizing methods and mechanics at 2nd edition. The UX Careers Handbook, that's user's experience. Write your way into animation and games, create a writing career in animation and games. Wall space is not your enemy. White space is not your enemy. A beginner's guide to communicating visually through graphics, web, and multimedia design. So, yeah, that's a problem. Like, that is definitely a problem to have a bundle that's selling several different books and several different fields. I mean, quite honestly, I don't feel like a lot of game developers are going to be reading books to start or continue their career anyways. Let's play this. Do this. Do this. This. And that. There's 15 hours on the Caffeine Games bundle and Humble bundle. 7 days left on the Indie PlayStation 2019 bundle. And we need one more dungeon run win. If I get one more dungeon run win also, I think that would be a full win here. So, no, it wouldn't. Alright, so that's the Humble bundles. And
Rexa versus Candlebeard.
60 parsecs.
Let the hunt
That's
begin.
not a game we're going to talk about.
Whiskers.
So that just puts me back on Twitter. So I'm just going to scroll down my Twitter feed and see if there's something new to talk about. Otherwise, we have about 18 more minutes of what would be an hour and a half, so we could end early, and I could play off screen if that needs to happen. Let's see. I wonder if it would be easier to reload my Twitter feed.
Someday, you'll be just like me.
Sumo Digital is hiring for a narrative designer. Sumo Digital is the developer of Snake Pass, I believe. Okay. Seems like several different sites are doing Lunar New Year sales, competing with, I guess, Steam, but in a general sense, they're also just doing Lunar New Year sales at the same time as everybody else would. Devolver Digital is releasing a game called Ape Out on the Nintendo Switch, where you play as an ape and smash things, I think is the basic idea of what the game is. Do I want to destroy that random enemy minion, or do I want to?
No look save.
Monster Hunter World sells over 11 million copies. Capcom's profits highest quarter three company history. I think we already generally talked about that. Kingdom Hearts 3 tops the UK sales charts in the franchise first. I don't think I reported that, but I don't know if that really matters too much either. Let's see, what happens if we do this? And then I decide to make this a clone of that. Well, if I did this, that would be cool. So why not? Techraptor has an article, Bubsy Paws of Fire delayed to April. Acolyte launching a Kickstarter for DLC. The last Bubsy game that they made was not great. So it's not a big surprise that
To my side.
I'm actually rather surprised that they were even making another Bubsy game. We'll continue to play. Could kill that. No. This is the right move.
Job done.
So many wonderful poisons.
This isn't video game related, but I saw an article that I think people should be aware of. The chemical that is associated with causing a disorder called popcorn lung has been found in a significant amount of vape juice for e-cigarettes and such. So for all the people who thought that was safe, I don't know, you definitely were putting your faith in the wrong people in the first place, but if you thought it was safe for better, it doesn't seem like it's safe for better. This and this and this. And might as well play that.
Job done.
Phil Spencer tweeted out a good article for parents who have kids that play on Xbox One, how to set 5 smart Xbox One parental controls. Saw a parental controls thing you can do on Google phones also that I was surprised it existed as an option, and I was kind of surprised by how limited it was too, but I imagined it would be pretty limited. And at this point I'm just seeing repeats on my Twitter page, so unless I scroll down really far, I wouldn't be surprised if there's nothing new to see. It'd be nice if I had some more secrets to play. Just keep on doing massive amounts of damage. I'm just gonna keep on scrolling down my Twitter page until I get to the very bottom to see if it refreshes. It's 9 o'clock, so it's definitely time to wrap up.
Such big teeth I have. Hunt alone.
Robbery commencing.
Scrolling down. Yeah, I'm playing 60 seconds, and one of the mouse controls literally has you clicking like the middle mouse button to pick up items and put it down. But then the right click pauses the menu, and it doesn't seem like you can rebind the mouse keys unless maybe you can rebind them if you change the control of the keyboard and mouse and then rebind them, and then maybe that would copy over to mouse only. The game probably would play pretty well with mouse if it was programmed to play that way, but it isn't. It's just not a smooth experience, regardless of what controller support you try.
The better to eat you with.
Scrolling down. Gearbox is doing something called the Hunt 2019, which I think is a Twitch like fundraiser or something. I'm not 100% sure. Just play that, do that, and then we can do that. Let's see. Do that. I'll be a little surprised if I win this, but yeah, I guess I would have been really surprised if I won that, since I was about to lose. Back, Start a new dungeon run. This will be a quick and easy game. Kill this whelp. Just play with the hunter.
Rexar versus a wee whelp. Let the hunt begin.
In a weird way, I kind of am waiting for the Lego Movie 2 to air and be out of theaters, because it's sucking a lot of the attention out of the room for other things, video games in particular. But it's definitely sucking the attention out of the room for other Lego things as a Lego hobbyist. They're not really announcing or doing anything new for Lego until the movie's done. It's all focused on the movie. Alright, I made it to the bottom of my Twitter. Let's see. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink development moved to Cygames, CY Games entirely. Platinum Games is no longer involved. Interesting. Platinum Games, aren't they the developers of Bayonetta? But that might not mean anything, frankly, because they may just be working with Nintendo on Bayonetta 3 or something like that.
Handle it.
Let's see. Cygames committed to delivering a game that meets fans' expectations. Let's see. PlayStation 4 action RPG based on the popular Japanese mobile game has been a co-development effort between Cygames and Platinum Games up until now. But going forward, Cygames will handle the entirety of the development internally. Alright. Alright, what do we need to do here? This, or this, or this. It's probably the right move. We need to figure out how to do 2 more damage. Yes, we can do this, and we can do that, and that, and that. You see, that puts us about 6 minutes below an hour and a half. Long enough, certainly, I think, to wrap up and end this recording here. We'll leave that choice for another day. And off screen, I'll just need to get 1 victory, and that will be all that it takes, and we'll be done with the daily quest. Let's see. We're looking for gold of any kind, I suppose, always. Gold cards or gold legendaries. Or just legendaries that aren't gold. Get us some more dust. If we are going to get a new expansion pretty soon, I'm gonna be low on dust. Wow, look at all these cards marked new. Either I haven't checked off a lot of these things in a while, or it totally glitched. It probably totally glitched. Let's see. We'll disenchant that. And disenchant that. Just trying to mark all of these as seen for as best as I can. There's 100. There we go. Lots of clicking going on. And why do some of these just not update? Do I have to left click instead of right click? Yeah, they're just stuck apparently, or they have new in the name, possibly. Nope, don't see new in the name. Alright, this is the new new card back. We can set that too. Alright, yeah, so one more victory. I'll do that off screen. This has been a slightly awkward stream because of the internet problems delaying the start time. That's it for the stream and this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam or gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.